Enterprises are handing real authority to AI agents. And today those actions leave the building with no gate, no proof, and no record. So airec sits in front of every AI decision as the governance and evidence layer. Everything routes through one decision endpoint, where we first establish identity from a signed token, because no token means no tenant attribution, so nobody can pollute another customer's records. And two hard pre-gates, a kill switch and a protected asset match, can stop a request before a single engine even runs. Then 10 engines go to work on every request, and 6 of them are real detectors that can block, catching prompt injection, redacting PII across 100+ patterns in 8 regulated industries, stopping credential exfiltration, filtering harmful content, and flagging hallucinations and fake citations, each dropping a signal onto one shared rail as it passes or fires. That's the enforcing 6 in action. And here's the full roster. 10 engines working as one system, 6 that detect and enforce, and 4 that govern advisory, from the patent-pending autonomy and consent gates to the model swap fingerprinter and the oversight monitor, with True North verified truth alongside. The trust score that follows isn't a number we made up, it's computed last over every signal, with a line-item breakdown of exactly what pushed it up or down, fully reproducible, and the very first hard hit. Here a leaked credential blocks the request and short-circuits the rest. On top of those 6, for governance engines run advisory, starting with the autonomy brain, ASIL, and its consent and actuator counterpart, Artel, both now patent pending, which together decide not just whether an agent may act, but how much latitude it gets. And because trust here is a vector of 5 independent dimensions where the worst one wins, not the average, a compromised agent can never average its way to full control. Another governance engine fingerprints the model itself, catching a vendor quietly swapping the model you paid for, and like the autonomy gates, it runs advisory, computing a real verdict but deliberately locked from changing the outcome, because that bright line between watching and acting is a safety feature we're honest about. Oversight runs on top of everything, since every live decision also feeds one share monitor called MetaWatcher, and on top of it DriftGuard runs real statistical process control, learning each engine's normal range and sounding the alarm the moment a model silently degrades or someone probes its limits. Yet it only alerts operators, it never touches traffic, so oversight can never take down the firewall. And alongside the 10, True North verifies truth, because Prism fuses multiple models and rewards independence. So answers that agree by different reasoning paths score higher than parrots, while True North fact-checks claims against independent live databases and only says verified when 2 or more agree, and a not found is unverifiable, never fake, so we never defame a real source. Finally, every decision lands in a pretended hash chain the database itself refuses to edit, sealed by signed checkpoints whose private key never touches the database. So an auditor can re-verify every hash and signature offline with our open source tool, and never has to trust our dashboard, only the math. For developers, there are 2 doors, both real, so you can call the Enforce API directly for a full, auditable verdict, or change a single line, pointing your existing OpenAI or Anthropic SDK at our gateway. And every call is governed, audited, and in enforce mode, blocked or redacted with 0 rewrite. For the people using AI, TrustSHIELD makes it tangible, with an honest protection banner and a real scan surface where PI redaction, credential detection, and multi-model truth synthesis all light up on a single paste, plus industry detectors, like catching a spoofed wire transfer email inside a title office. And for operators and auditors, Command Center is the control plane, where you mint gateway keys and set enforcement mode, verify a signed checkpoint with a single click, watch engine drift, and inspect every engine's live config and events, the whole governed decision, made visible and provable. So that's 10 engines on every request, 6 that enforce and 4 that govern. An advisory autonomy brain grading how far an agent can go, and a tamper-evident, signed ledger that lets anyone prove what happened after the fact and offline. That's airec.ai, governed AI you can actually prove.